Fine. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AshHole review number 96, where today we will be reviewing the Behike. Now, I know it's been about 7 months since I did a review. Last one was review number 95. You can find all of them in my YouTube channel. And I did promise that the 96 to 100 would be something very special. 96 being the Behike. And that is what I'm going to review for you today. But before we begin, just a small little montage. Now, a little bit about this cigar. The Behike is made by Cohiba, which I actually made a whole video about Cohiba. You guys can go check that out, okay? And the reason that the Behike is special is because it has a leaf in it called the Medio Tempo. Now, on a tobacco plant, the leaves, right, they go as follows. The Velados is the bottom, which is the lightest tobacco. The Secos are the ones that are in the middle. They give more of an aftertaste of good smoke. And then on top you have the Ligeros, which are responsible for all the flavors. But about 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7 plants get something called a Super Ligero or a Medio Tempo, which is a tippity top, 2 leaves on the top that are usually super oily, super dark when they're fermented, and super flavorful. And these leaves are actually put into the Behike, and that is why they are so coveted. One of the reasons, okay? Number 2, these cigars came out originally in 2006 for the 40th anniversary of the Cohiba marca, okay? And they were all rolled by one woman. Now, that batch did not have the Medio Tempo in it, I believe. So it wasn't as, it had a different flavor, but those are extremely rare. Afterwards, several years later, they started producing these as a regular production line, and this is the Behike 52. So, I mean, I guess that's about all the information I'd like to tell you guys about the cigar. Let's just jump right into the review. Smell test. Oh, so this, before I do that, really quickly, I want to tell you guys there's 3 shapes. There is the 52, the 54, the 56. I am smoking the 52, the smallest. Usually goes for around 80 bucks. All right, let's do the smell. Ooh, very sweet. Honey and woody. These have been sitting next to other Behikes, and they definitely been sharing that flavor. Oh my goodness, the filler smells like a very woody, like oaky flavor with a little bit of onioness, but all of it is very mellow. There's no sharpness to this at all. I don't know if that's the age or just the Primo tobacco, but this cigar smells unbelievable. It really does smell Primo faux show. Alright, time to do the cut. Now y'all know I like to do just the top, just the tippity top. There you go. And let's go for the light. Now, I will make a video about lighting cigars and stuff. But first you want to give it a little toast. Now, you don't want to keep the flame too close to the cigar, right? Yeah, die on camera. That'd be hilarious. So you give it a little toast, and then... There we have the light. Wow. Well, don't always trust the initial flavor, but I gotta say, right away I taste... A little bit of earthiness and a little bit of that, that barnyard flavor that so the Cohiba tobacco is fermented in barrels, so it has this nice barnyard flavor. That's definitely coming through, but I'm definitely getting a nice earthiness that I normally do not get from Cohibas. Right away, am I tasting $100 cigar? No, but damn, I feel like a fucking boss, I mean, it's a Behike. Well, the one thing I will tell you is that, construction and the draw on Cuban cigars is usually an issue. This thing is pulling like a fucking champ. We'll see how the ash settles. But so far, it's pretty good. I'm gonna smoke this bad boy for a little bit, and I'll be back with you guys a little bit later, maybe like a half an inch. So the one thing I do want to comment on, and even though the Behike is like a really good smoke, the thing that I noticed is this construction is unbelievable. Like, Cuba's not really known for the construction. Cohibas do pretty much have the best out of the lot, but goddamn, this thing is almost seamless. Like, I'm having a hard time finding where the leaf is crisscrossing. That's just how good it is. They definitely put their top people up for the Cohiba project, you know, the Behike project, and that's why these cigars are so freaking like flawless. I'm definitely gonna give it a 10 out of 10 for fucking for shape. Let me give you a little more, another update on that flavor. As I said, the first couple of puffs are always a little deceiving. That barnyard flavor took a back seat a little bit, and what we're seeing is that earthiness actually moved forward. Cuba does have very nice volcanic soil, red limestone, so the earthiness is definitely something that you're going to have seep into the tobacco. Especially where Cohiba is from, the Vuelta Bajo region, there is a lot of the red limestone, so that's probably what I'm tasting in this. The burn is a little wonky, but, you know, like, whatever. I'm outside, the weather's kind of humid, it's a Cuban, and it's been aged for a while. Alright. Be back soon, folks. So the reason the Behike is actually so delicious is actually slowly becoming, apparent to me. And the thing is that it's very, very smooth, but it has such a strong, robust, earthy flavor that it's very difficult to get that combo down. It's very difficult to get a lot of flavor with smoothness, because usually with smoothness you have less flavor, but this is like the perfect storm. It's smooth and very, very palatable, but also so full of flavor. It's been about half an inch and it's changing already, you know, like it keeps evolving. I feel like every puff is a new puff, and that's actually quite nice. Guys, y'all can see I'm blinging with my Cohiba ring today. Fuck it, man. If I'm smoking a Behike, you bet I'm gonna be wearing my motherfucking Cohiba pinky ring. Come on. Such great smoke production, man. Yeah, so you mostly have like that earthiness, right, that's still there, still holding strong in the foundation, and then a little bit of woodiness is creeping up as well. Like I said, it's evolving, it's changing. Oh man, Ash is doing okay. For a Cuban, it's doing fine. I mean, I've seen some guys posting pictures of Behikes and the ashes look like complete trash. So that's something that's still going to be happening. This one is holding up. I'm pretty happy with it. And the draw is like a 10 out of 10. It's perfect. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. It's exactly how I personally like it. I guess we'll see if that earthy flavor does actually change. My prediction is that the woodiness will actually take the front seat and the earthiness will take a back seat, so they'll kind of like switch sides, but I guess we'll see. I'll see you guys in maybe like another half an inch. Alright guys, one thing I do want to mention, something quite important. When you are smoking a Behike, it's very important to have some sort of palate cleanser. Something akin to a Red Bull would work. I mean, this is actually personal. For me, I can actually enjoy a cigar with something sweet like a Red Bull. But I know for most cigar smokers, a nice whiskey, preferably I put something a little more peated, that really helps cleanse the palate and helps you appreciate the cigar more. I myself am using some, won't be a surprise to most, some balls. I love balls. I know that a lot of cigar smokers are also non-alcoholics. Excuse me, not non-alcoholics. They don't drink alcohol, so I would definitely suggest trying this with some coffee. Now, I know also some people that do not drink alcohol and do not drink coffee either. You're pretty much a douchebag, but you can also enjoy this with a nice tea. I would suggest Earl Grey with just a little bit of sugar or honey would go great with this cigar, okay? Yo, I gotta say, I was fucking so wrong, and I couldn't have been happier about that. So as you can see, we are getting closer to the band. The ash is looking really, really, really good. I said it was going to turn woody. It did for about a minute. I remember about 5 minutes ago, it turned a little bit woody, and then the earthiness did kind of back up, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm such a fucking badass. I was completely right. But about a second later, this sick leatheriness kicked in. It's almost like I'm eating a steak right now. I love the way that it just kind of went, earth, 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 and then just a little bit of wood, and then pow, leather. I feel like the wood was more of a transition. Maybe my palate just getting accustomed to the oils. I don't know what it was, but god damn. Whew. At this point in the cigar, it is getting delicious. Now here's 10 seconds of me just smoking this shit, not saying anything, okay? I lied, it's 8 seconds. Alright, well, I moved the band up and it's still going strong. Look at that ash. That's how you know that they send their best rollers to the Laguita factory where this is made. Fun little fact, this is actually called the Laguita number 4. 4, 5, and 6 are the 52, the 54, and the 56, respectively. The 1, 2, and 3 are actually the first 3 cigars that the Cohiba brand ever made. Okay, I believe that was the Panatella, the Exquisito, and the Lancero. So this is the factory name for this is Laguita number 4. Now, let's get to the flavor. I do have a couple of things I want to say. Again, as far as the draw goes, very, very, very good. The ash is holding strong, as you can see. Here's what happened. The leatheriness that I spoke about did step back just a little bit, and the earthiness moved forward. As you can see, they keep switching places, but an interesting dynamic happened where now they're kind of both even. One of them does not overtake the other, and what did happen is a nice little pepper started poking its head out there. Now, this pepper is perfect. I'll tell you why. Sometimes cigars have a little bit of pepper, which is nice. Sometimes cigars have too much pepper, which sucks. But this cigar has just enough pepper where it's right on the border of being too much, but it's not. And when you have a dish, when you have food, and it's just the perfect amount of spiciness. It's not too hot where you're like dying, but it's just the perfect amount of spice where you're like, oh yeah, you can really savor that burn. That's really what the Behike is delivering right now, and it's actually burning great. Look at that ash, huh? I mean, look, I'll get more into detail about this after I'm done smoking it, but this far in, if you're gonna ask me whether this is a $100 cigar, I would say probably, I mean, it's $80, excuse me, but I would say it's probably not, but then, to follow up with that, I did buy a box of these, so who the fuck am I to say, you know what I mean? I guess I'll get back to you once we get to that band or past it, who knows? Bye-bye, Ash. We're approaching the end of this cigar. I gotta say, I'm actually really, really impressed, okay? Here's the breakdown. First of all, take a look at that. It's been burning great the whole time. You gotta give it mad props for that. But the way that the flavor has changed has really, really blown me away, okay? As I said before, the leatheriness really took over with the earthiness in the background. But here's what happened. The leatheriness, it became a very, very meaty type of leather, The flavor is almost like I'm eating a steak. But here's the fucking twist. The earthiness has also transformed into almost like a charcoal flavor. So not only is it like a steak, but it's like a steak that's been really fucking cooked like on a really high heat. You know what I mean? So it's got those nice crispy dark edges. That's kind of what this fucking cigar tastes like a really nice, well-cooked steak, really crispy and, charcoaly on the outside, medium rare. Okay, now I'm just getting hungry, honestly. With all that being said, oh man, all that crazy nonsense I just spewed at you, right? It still somehow maintains a level of smoothness that it's a fucking unbelievable for the amount of flavor that it's producing. And that is that unique characteristic is exactly why this cigar is $80. If you're ever asking yourself, okay, well, I can pay $20, $30 for a regular Cohiba, what makes the Behike better? That's what makes the Behike better. But again, let me finish this bad boy up, and then we'll get more into that when we do the conclusion. Yo, guys, isn't it crazy that this is like $25 worth of cigar? This is why I sometimes think our industry is just fucking retarded. Fuck on. Fucking my... Sorry guys, you just witnessed me completely lose it on camera. Okay guys, while I'm finishing this up, we want to drop a little bit of knowledge on you. The word Behike actually is a Taino word. Yeah, the Taino is an indigenous people that lived in the region of Cuba. And the Behike was the chieftain or the priest that would do the ceremonies concerning tobacco. So they would use tobacco in ritualistic ways, and the person that conducted these rituals was called the Behike. So that's where the name comes from. So unfortunately, it seems like we have come to the end of our journey. It's starting to burn really hot, burning my lips, and the pepper is really overtaking it. So the last inch is a bit hard to handle. I am going to give it a couple more puffs before I finish up here. And there we go. Behike finished. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the conclusion. Let's discuss what we have discovered. I know you guys like numbers, so I will be giving scores. Let's begin with the construction. Flawless. Behikes have been known to have the most flawless construction out of any Cuban cigars, and today proved it. That thing looked wonderful. Like I said, I could not even find the seams where the tobacco separate. It was wonderful. Okay, number two, the burn. Throughout the whole thing, it burned really, really well. The ash kept for about 2/3 of the way, which was really, really, really impressive. Awesome, awesome burn. Number three, the pull. The pull was great. Pull was amazing throughout. It was very, very consistent. Usually I'm very worried on Cubans. So far with Behikes, I have not had any problem. The pull was fucking fantastic. Now to the most important part. Let's discuss the flavor. Whoa. Flavor was awesome, okay? Exactly what I expected. We had a cigar that started out very, very, very earthy, and then it slowly evolved from earthy to leathery with a little bit of woody in the middle, and even when it turned into leathery, it kept evolving past that. The earthiness and the leatheriness were just doing this kind of dance together, and they kept changing around, switching around. One would go in front of the other, and it created a very, very amazing experience. Now, on top of that, as you're smoking it, even though there's all these flavors that keep coming up with the tobacco, with the cigar, right? You have a bit of pepper showing up about about 2/3 mark. You have a little bit of pepper, and even though you have that, the cigar is still so smooth. It's unbelievable. It's amazing that even though it can keep so much flavor, it can also produce so much smoothness. And this is usually not something you see in a cigar. Also, it has that wonderful balance of flavor that Cubans are known for. The Behike really exemplifies that trait of the Cuban tobacco. It really is the magna culpa, the tippity top of what Cubans have to offer. So, since I don't believe in 10 out of 10s because perfection does not exist, I will be giving the Behike a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed my review, please repost it, share it, give me a like, give me a follow. Thank you so much. Have a great day, bitch. I love cigars. Blah, blah, blah.